Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today you find me in Pulborough, just continuing my series on the Roman roads in Sussex. So just as I was driving past here, just noticed this section here. Looks to me like it's man-made, and it looks like it's the driveway to a farm. Definitely not allowed to go in there, but very straight. Yeah, just speculating, because obviously there is a Roman road that passes through here. You know, was this the Roman road, and has it just been developed and built on to be used as a modern road? So yeah, just interesting noticing that, and probably can notice it more because of the rainfall. It's only a very short section. So I found my way to where I believe the settlement is. Bit of a drawn out walk to this. I parked outside St Botolph's, walked along the A29, and then turned up towards the waterworks, and then you have to basically weave your way through like a small trading estate. There are signposts for the footpath, but I did ask for some advice from a local, and she directed me in the right direction. So, having a look at the map, the encampment was basically near where the canal is built. Now, I believe the canal is under that bridge there. So we'll go and explore that in a second. But on the map it does show the canal, and down in this direction I believe is where the encampment is. So we're in the area of the encampment, and this encampment was found because they were building a railway line through in 1863. It didn't stay around for very long because it was removed as part of the Beechings cuts in the 1960s, so roughly only 100 years this railway ran for. So here we can see the north part of the encampment. As you can see, it's a much higher platform than the surrounding land, and in this area they found 5 graves. These graves were made up, they were dug down into the ground, and in there was some wooden chests, and in the wooden chests were some pottery, some very ancient pottery, some metal handles, some flint tools, and interestingly some leather sandals. Just insert a picture of the leather sandals here, and it's quite interesting how they were made up. Just a bit of leather with some loops made to form like a shoelace pattern on the top. Obviously very effective, and it did say that the sandals didn't look like they'd been worn, so maybe they were like a ceremonial thing. Some of the ancient Britons believed that you needed a pair of shoes to walk into the afterlife. There were also some animal bones found in there. The human remains were all cremated. So the Romans had a history of adopting old sites, and it's common with all conquerors that they would find a site that had previous significance and they would build on it. And probably if this area was already raised, like some of the hill forts in the area, lifted up off the ground, it would have been a great benefit from a militarial point of view, to be able to see out over the land. So this settlement or encampment, basically what happens is with Roman roads they would build a settlement every 15 miles on the Roman road. This was to represent a day's march with a heavy load, carts and carrying things. And as I've said to you in my previous video, as much as these roads were militarial, they were also trading routes, so it was a good way for the Romans to extract either resources like iron or limestone, or tin or bronze, and or even gems, and basically get them to the coast and then get them back into Europe. So these roads were heavily important for them so that they could move goods around. So yeah, every 15 miles they would build this encampment. Don't know whether that encampment was necessarily a fortification, but it would be places where the troops would able to be fed and rest to do the next section of the march. And this one would have been particularly important because, looking at the maps of the Roman roads, this was a junction of two Roman roads. So just going back into the camp now, like I said, you can see sort of raised on the left, and on the right doesn't look very significant on aerial photographs, but this raised section on the right could actually be the old road. Generally speaking, they would be raised like that, and they would have a gutter system down there. It's not clear from what I can see online as to how the encampments worked, whether the roads were nearby them or whether they would just go through. I guess it would just depend on the geography of the area. So, great view from up here, and what I'll try and do is I'll try and insert an image from Google Maps which shows the embankment that I've been looking at. It is kind of clear, so I would say it starts over here, runs all the way along to right about there, and that would be the northern side of it. So basically it would have been a square structure coming out something like that, and the graves in it are basically sort of located in the sort of northern end, so probably on the other side of the railway line. I said nothing to mark the fact that they are there now, but interesting to actually find evidence of this Roman fortification. Bear in mind this road is 2,000 years old, and yeah, it's hard to tell where the actual road sort of went through here, because we know it came down and there was a junction in this area, but as you can see, this sort of area has been farmed heavily, the land ploughed, and any humps or bumps would have been removed and building materials would have been removed for the local houses. Hello Mr. Horse, I'm just heading through to the other end of the footpath. So here we find the old canal. As you can see, it's all silted up these days, and it's obviously been fenced off to stop people going into it. Very trepidatious getting across there. Just going to switch the camera off and see if I can work my way across. So I've worked my way round to the old canal, and as you can see, it's no longer in use. So this connected a couple of the rivers, I think the Arun to the Rother, or is it the Whitby or something like that? But essentially this was a canal route. And what would happen here is this would have been, like in the tunnel, a proper canal, and on either side there would have been a towpath, so horses would have walked along the towpath and walked the barge along. So in the tunnel, the canal boat would have to be walked along through the tunnel by laying on the roof of the barge and then just walking your feet along the roof of the tunnel. And the horses would then head up the towpath and over the bridge to the other end of the tunnel, where they would then rejoin the barge. So this is the bridge I was talking about. So this would have been for the horses to come and cross over the railway so they can meet up with the canal boats on the other side of the tunnel. Just a word of warning, if you are crossing through the field to the other end of the tunnel, there is a very large horse in that field, which I'm quite happy with large animals, but if you're like Richard Vobes and scared of cows and maybe large animals, that might not be an adventure you would want to partake in. So the tunnel would be under here somewhere, going underneath and coming out just over where, like I said, the enclosure for the Roman fort would be. So this is the railway line, as you can see, dead straight. So yeah, must have been within this area that some of the graves were found. No sign of them to this day. In some of the grave dugouts they also found some stone arches. They were like cut limestone arches, and it was said that some of these materials were used in the building of a local church and an abbey. So we're going to head back in that direction towards the 12th century church. Now here we find the old 12th century church of St Botolph's, not too far away from the Roman encampment, and probably again not too far away from the Roman road. Obviously don't know exactly how old the church was, but they're saying roughly 12th century. So this has been built approximately 1,000 years after the road and possibly the settlement. We know that in one of the urns there was a coin stamped with Hadrian's face on it, so we know that the encampment back there was actually in use when Hadrian, which is I think about 172 roughly. So interestingly, in this church, when they were doing some renovations on the church, they stripped off the linings of the walls, and underneath they found some of the oldest paintings in the country. When I take you inside, we'll have a quick look and you'll see the paintings in all their glory. So it's said that this church is made up from some of the old Roman tiles found at the Roman settlement, and I wonder if these are the tiles they're making reference to. Also some terracotta in the wall there. Thank you very much for watching. If you could like and subscribe, also share with your friends and family, it will help grow the channel and get me out making more videos. Currently just uploading one video a week on a Friday, but obviously work and the weather are going to come in to play now. This is the only dry day of the week, so I've been lucky to get out and have the day off to be able to film on this, but all weekend it's going to be raining, so might struggle to make another video for next week. So if you could help me grow the channel, I will be able to make more regular videos when the weather is I can time my recording when the weather is better and show these areas in a better light as well.